Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the internet's most hated Mafia-themed Geek podcast. The Long Coat Mafia podcast is I, the Reverend Godfather, the show's main host and frontman. I bet you're wondering a couple of things right now. One, where's the great hostful that you all promised? Well, to answer that question, it's one of y'all's fault. I'm telling you this right now. Last week when I booked the conference room at the Daily Grind to have a great hostful with Big Candy today, well, one of you, I don't know who it is yet, decided we need some of the frozen stuff to land. We want some frozen stuff weather. That's right, you invoked the wrath and the eyes of Mother Nature. What we wanted to do was have her head down and avoid her gaze. But no, one of you all out there had to poke her with a stick. We don't want to poke Mother Nature with a stick. We want to have our heads down and kind of slip on by so we can have our hostfuls. Yeah, we don't mind wet weather, but it's when it's the frozen wet stuff that really irks us. We can have the great stuff that we need to do to bring you great stuff. Now, some of you are all wondering out there that saw our posts, especially the post from Tiny Toy Batman, that you all were going to do a plan B. Skype in. Skype in has always been your plan B. Well, let me just say this. I don't know too much of what's happening with Big Candy. All I'm going to say is, for all of you out there, please keep him in your thoughts, prayers, and good energy. I think he's going to probably as of this recording this Saturday night, I don't know exactly what's going on. From what I do know, I'm not really at liberty to say. So to avoid drama and Big Candy, please, I hope you allow the positive thoughts, the positive prayers, the positive well wishes from me and the rest of the audience into your life with what's going on. Please accept those. And for those out there, it's like, in regards to the weather, yeah, we're making light of it, but there's one thing I want all of you out there to know, is that I will not risk or have my co-host or any other guest host that might come into our show risk their life for this show. I will not have that. I will not have them wreck their family because of them making that attempt to our show. So what I'm going to try to do tonight is give you kind of an abbreviated show and cover some of the topics that me and Big Candy were going to try to cover today. And still a special thanks to the Daily Grind for allowing us to do what we do and to have a great conference room available to us when we're able to get it. So that being said, let's try to get into some of what we were going to cover today. One of the things that I wanted to cover was kind of a review of Rambo Last Blood. I got a chance to see this movie, and did it kind of fit in with the rest of the Rambos that were available in, I think, the late 90s, maybe early to mid 2000 aughts? I should say it came out, I think the last Rambo movie came out 2008-ish, maybe 2009. And it was pretty good. This takes place more so in 2018, maybe 2017. For those of you out there who are not familiar with the Rambo series, Rambo is this kind of, Rambo himself is played by Sylvester Stallone. And the first Rambo came out, I think, in early 80s. And it was kind of innovative. It was, let me just say, First Blood kind of dealt with Vietnam vets having kind of post-traumatic stress disorder. And that was kind of the underlying premise of it, is that John Rambo had PSTD, and everything that happened in that movie kind of triggered his PTSD, and he just reverted to the soldier that he was. And with Last Blood, which is in essence the end cap to the whole series, is in essence Stallone trying to show that Rambo finally came home to America he has medication that he's taking. Obviously, I'm guessing the medication they show that he's taking is for his PTSD, plus maybe other aspects. I'm not familiar with the type of prescribed medication that folks on PTSD do take, or the severity that he might have. So, but they do show him taking medication that he's found a life. He's found, in essence, a family to take care of, or a way of a surrogate family to take care of, is the best way to kind of put things. Yet I want to say the whole movie had a John Wick slash Taken feel to it, but that's not a problem with this. It does work out. It showed, if you want to look at it at that point, or in that aspect of it, it had, or compare it to a John Wick movie, because that's the most recent type of films out there. I'm not putting down this movie in any way. I want to say it's out of a 5-star type of review. It's a decent 4-star review. It could have been better, but and it's worth the rent if you like the Rambo series. But the best way to compare it is John Wick is a surgeon and using a scalpel. And John Wick, and I won't say John Wick, John Rambo is pretty much a field medic using a Bowie knife to do the same job. That's the best way I could say it. I wish I could go more with Big Candy, but again, with certain aspects right now, honestly, folks, we'll get caught up with him, and I'll keep the show notes so we can get into some aspects and go into a deeper dive. So, another thing I want to get into real quick is Witcher. That was kind of the big thing over the past few weeks, past month or so. Right now, a lot of folks are switching over to Dracula. I want to get into that. And maybe when I speak to Big Candy and we finally get things going through either a in-studio type of recording or through Skype, we'll get into things better. And then maybe I'll watch a few episodes of Dracula and to see how well they do that. I'm sure it's based on Bram Stoker's tale in some way, and if that be the case, it'll be interesting to see how they do things. But back to Witcher, I want to say this: did I enjoy it? Not so. I'm not saying it's a bad show. Please, I am not saying this in any way, shape, or form. It's just that it had. I've seen the whole series. Henry Cavill played the Witcher, his part, very well. He sold his role very, very well. I just want to say this. It had a very hard Game of Thrones feel to it. And I did catch Game of Thrones, a few episodes of Game of Thrones. It just didn't hook me. I'm not putting down Game of Thrones. I'm just saying that Witcher has a Game of Thrones feel to it. And it just doesn't click with me. I might check out a few episodes of Season 2 if and when it comes out. But I want to say this. That what I did see, it has potential. I could see where a lot of people enjoy it, and for me, it's a 3.5 out of 5. But for now, if you enjoy Game of Thrones, you might enjoy Witcher a lot. So I suggest if you have Netflix, check it out, and if you enjoy it, watch it. I'm sure a lot of you do. So let's keep a couple things going. The next thing I want to talk about is Velocipastor. Yes, I did not misspeak. I said Velocipastor. When I first saw this trailer on Facebook, I was like, is this a thing? Somebody please tell me this is a thing. Because I thought at first it was a fake trailer. But apparently, no. This is a indie movie, I think. And it's an indie movie trying to be a kind of a grindhouse film. But it's not a grindhouse film. It's an indie film. Low budget. They had me at Velocipastor. And they had me at the trailer. Voodoo had it to rent/buy. I decided to rent it because I did not know this movie. And I didn't want to risk buying it and not enjoying it and being stuck with this movie. Now, I want to say what Velocipastor is about. It to kind of summarize, it's about a pastor that gets his hands on a relic, and that relic somehow makes him, when he's angry, turn into a dinosaur. Specifically, a velociraptor. You heard me right. It's that bad. They didn't ask if they should make it or why they should make it. Just that, is there a movie like this out there? No. Can we get money to make this movie? And obviously they did. The only doubt, I was rolling, laughing throughout the whole film. I'm sure they didn't mean to be a comedy, but it's just, a lot of it just hit me with humor. It reminded me in a way of the original Skeleton Key from John Johnson, meaning that the movie didn't take itself seriously. It was taking itself seriously without taking itself seriously. I do recommend watching it. I loved it. There was a few scenes that, like I said, it was just, whether or not they had the money for it and they did it on purpose, or they did it as a joke. Either way, it was funny as hell. Meaning, there's one part in the beginning that said that there was meant to be like a car explosion. All they did was film the scene without the car, but put text on the screen saying VFX car explosion. And they go back to the pastor, in essence crying, no! And they go back to that scene, it just says VFX car fire. And it just had me, it's meant to be a sad scene, but it was funny as hell. Just how the placement, it was hysterical. It is a movie, it's an hour and 10 minutes, that's the downfall. I want to say, as an indie film, it had too much hipster to it. Or it wanted to be hipster and cool and indie sort of feel. And it wanted, that's what I think one of the problems was. It wanted to feel indie, though it was a independent, low budget film, but it was making too much of a point that, hey, we're indie, we're using indie pop rock, we're using very indie punk, yay us, and we're only an hour and 10 minutes, and we don't have nudity. Needed nudity. At least one topless scene. And I don't mean from a guy. But that's just one fellow's opinion. It just seems like that's what it was lacking. It's like, really? You use every other trope but that. Come on. Really? I understand your convictions. I understand that the people that you brought in may not have wanted to do that. I could respect that. But it was like something that I kind of was expecting. I was like, what? It didn't have that? Oh, man. Jeez. But I had fun nonetheless. I give this out of 5 stars, 4.5. I do recommend the watch. Show some, if you love indie movies, I mean, if you love the train wreck that is fun indie movies, this is one of the ones you've got to watch. And it's only an hour and 10 minutes. Granted, it should have been at least an hour and 30. Let's see. Just to keep things rolling. Yes, this is going to probably be a short episode. But there is a lot of stuff that I want to go over. But there are things I want to go over with Big Candy because he's a great sounding board. He's a great person, and I hope we get to have him back on the show very, very soon. But the last thing I kind of want to talk about is the whole CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, this is the whole. This is kind of a chunk that I want to go into. Did I enjoy this 5-part special? Yes, I did. What did I? Are there things I didn't like about it? Not really. I'm sure that there was a lot of holes in it, but there's a lot of it that I liked. The biggest issue that I had with it is that the 5 episodes were spread out over not just a week, a month, and after the first 3 episodes came out. It's, oh yeah, the final 2 episodes are coming out at the end of towards the end of the January. And yes, the last 2 episodes did come out this past week. And I just want to say, I hated that wait. I hated that wait. You should have had all 5 episodes, given us, the last 2 prior to the end of the year. But I understand why they probably did that is because they had those last 2 episodes as a buffer for them to start filming at the start of the year and get everything going for the new year with Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow ending, sadly. And there's a whole argument in regards to why, so forth and so on. But still, I want to focus on the positives. One of the positives is that Brandon or Ruth, I'm not. Brandon doesn't listen to this show. If he does, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. But Brandon is the person who plays Captain Adam / Ray Palmer on Legends of Tomorrow. He also played Clark Kent / Superman in the Superman Returns movie that was out a couple of years ago. And that kind of just was lackluster in the theaters. But still, I'm not knocking his Superman performance. He tried. He was there. He gave it his all. But the aspect of this crossover, he returned or reprised his role as Superman. And they did a good job of bringing that character to the small screen. And one of the things that they played on is that I kind of wanted to see is when they showed him as either Clark Kent or Superman, they would do the whole aspect of, oh, come on, Ray, quit joking around with us. And him kind of like, I'm not Ray. I'm Clark. No, you're not. That type of good humor. And they kind of played on that a little bit. And one of the things that they did is when they kind of finally introduced Black Lightning into this crossover, and the excitement on his face saying, you're both Superman? You guys do exist? Just the kind of a fanboy aspect of it, and the aspect of respect in regards to it, and the joy on the smile, the hero's kind of smile of welcome to the group, how are you doing? It was fun to see. And towards the end of, I should say, the last episode or next to last episode of this crossover, Brandon's character as Ray, the Martian Manhunter, kind of fills him in using his powers, and you see Ray's eyes light up, and he goes, "There was a Super Me?" And it fits the character so well, and the eyes lighting up like, wait a minute, I'm Superman? I was Superman? It fit. It was wonderful. They played it just right, and it didn't degrade the Superman character at all. And a lot of folks have been saying that his Superman was a Dark Knight version of Superman. I don't think so. I want to say his Dark Knight version, his version of Superman was not the Superman Returns version. It was the kind of a injustice version of Superman and how they set things up. And I think that was a better story arc and a better Easter egg than a Dark Knight Returns type of ordeal. And they did do an Dark Knight Returns type of scenario with Kevin Conroy. For those of you who don't know who Kevin Conroy is, or been living under a rock for the past God knows how long, Kevin Conroy voiced Batman for years from the Batman anime series, Batman. I think it's not Batman Returns. The kind of the future Batman, so to speak, and the Justice League Batman. So they brought him in to do the Dark Knight Returns type of Batman, that kind of a Bruce Wayne that was recovering from his fight with Superman, which was very dark, but it was kind of hard to see. You're hearing the Batman voice, the Batman Bruce Wayne voice, but it was kind of hard to see him actually do the voice as well, which is kind of hard for, I think, a lot of people that enjoy the work that voice actors do. And it was still very good. He played the part very well, and I enjoyed it. All the Easter eggs that were put into the show were done awesomely well. If you haven't seen this crossover and you like kind of like the Warner Brothers crossovers and all that, you're able to catch them now on the CW app, which is free to everybody. It's free to download, free to watch. There's no fees like CBS does. But please check it out if you're interested. Another thing that kind of the other Easter egg that they put in was the Smallville cameo. They had Tom Welling and the actress that's played Lois Lane do a cameo. They wanted to have Michael Rosenbaum in on this too, to kind of reprise his role of Lex Luthor, but he came out and said no, their scheduling was too erratic, and for the price that they wanted to pay me and the schedule, it was, a no for him, as much as he wanted to do it. But the whole cameo with Tom Welling, with the CW's current Lex Luthor, or Small Girl's Lex Luthor, was wonderful. It was with great respect, and Tom, I hope we see Tom again some way, somehow, or return to the Smallville universe. I would love to see another thing like that and have that type of crossover. But kind of speaking of like Michael Rosenbaum's not being there, there was a rumor that he was going to be, like, they contacted, like, the rumor was out there that they may have contacted him and worked out a deal for him to play a Flash variant. Now, for those of you, again, living under the rock and realize that Michael Rosenbaum played Lex during the Smallville years, he also voiced Flash. I think it was Wally West or Barry Allen, one of the Flashes on the Justice League. And a lot of folks were like, yeah, that's cool. We want to see this, especially interacting with the Flash. We didn't get that. It was like, really? Really? And to kind of segue a little bit into the lies and everything else, one of the things that we were seeing that was possibly a lie was Tom Ellis. And for those of you who don't know who Tom Ellis is, he's the actor that plays Lucifer on Fox's / Netflix's show of the same name, Lucifer. The show is very the show Lucifer is very interesting itself. It's about, put it briefly, Lucifer in essence retiring from hell, being the king of hell, and kind of doing this, sorry about that pop, it's my water bottle, retiring from hell and wanting to just do his own thing in the real world. It's like a buddy cop type of show, but it's pretty good. Check it out on Netflix. All 5. I think it's going into its fifth and final season right now. When it finally drops on Netflix, I don't know. But still, let's get back to the point. The rumor initially was that Tom Ellis as Lucifer was going to be a cameo on this crossover. And Tom came out and said, no, I wasn't there. A friend of mine had a birthday. I was just, giving him a visit, giving him well wishes, and, we were going to hang out, do drinks, and I was going to go home. Turns out it was a lie. He did have a cameo, so that's why a lot of folks were thinking initially, like myself, that, well, if Tom was a cameo, maybe we will get Michael Rosenbaum as a cameo. If not Lex, the Flash. Cool. Fortunately, no. It was it had us filled. But there was a very interesting cameo. There were other cameos. There was they kind of worked a lot of the gimmicks and the different, like, I think there was a nod to the original Batman movie from the 80s, so it took place in like 1989, Universe 89, or there was also the Huntress timeline, which was Universe like 92 or something like that. The Lucifer time, when they went to visit Lucifer, it was Universe 666. So there was a lot of little fun Easter eggs when they did the multiple crossovers as the kind of the universes were ending down the line. So that was great. That was wonderful how they did things. But what they also did was they brought in, that was a fun and very good cameo, and that was bringing in Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller played Barry Allen in the DCEU movies, or in essence, the Warner Brothers movies like Justice League, a brief little cameo in Batman vs. Superman. In essence, again, he was the Flash. And there was going to be from what I heard and read, is that they wanted to bring him on as this fun character, and in essence, his character from the DC movies, and to kind of meet the Flash from the TV show. And what this was, let all of you know, is that they're thinking of still producing the Flash movie, the actual movie with Ezra Miller. And to kind of set the scene, because let me back up again. The show ADD is hitting hard right now. Basically, what this scene was, again, was not only just the Flash movie, was the showrunner was also wanting to, in a way, bring in the Flash. He wanted to have this moment, this great moment. And it worked out well. As I said, the personalities fit perfectly. To kind of explain things, the CW Barry Allen has to kind of find his friends in the Speed Force. And he speeds to this one section, or this one memory at Star Labs. And right before, as soon as he gets there, not even a split second after that, you hear someone else kind of flash in or speed in, and he turns around and you see Ezra Miller and you see the CW's Barry Allen. And Ezra Miller's like, "Hey, are you a cosplayer? You want a selfie? We could do it. Come on, come here." And they're like, "No, I'm the Flash." And Miller's like, "The what? I'm the Flash. The Flash, man." And Miller's Flash is kind of putting two and two together, and he's like, "Wait," and you feel there's this moment of both of them are admiring each other's uniform in a way. Is like Miller's Flash, like, "Your suit looks so comfortable, so breathable. I love it. This is great." And the CW Flash, like, "Your suit looks so cool. It's so safe. It's so there's this brief interaction of like admiring each other as, in essence, a hero and what they do. And they both introduce each other as like Barry Allen and again, Miller kind of playing to his role as the Flash, like, "What? Really? Whoa, cool." This, in essence, his personality as the Flash. And the CW Flash is kind of saying, "Wow, this is kind of tough to explain. There's a lot to go over. I'm sure you have questions." And all of a sudden, Miller's Flash kind of fades out, saying, "I kind of told Victor that this was going to happen, or was a possibility, or something along those lines." So there was that aspect of, that little bit of a hint, and it was very wonderfully done. Did it fit? I don't know, but it was just a great cameo, a great little thing for it. And it was, like I said, I enjoyed it. It was kind of a surprise. I smiled at it. And one of the other Easter eggs that they kind of put in at the final thing is that you hear. Now, this is showing my age. There was a hint of Gleek. For those of you who are very, 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 very young, there was a show called Super Friends. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. Yes, kids, they had cartoons on strictly aired on Saturday morning. And in this concept of Super Friends, which was, in a way, the JLA in some aspects, but they brought in that whole aspect of the Wonder Twins, which was a very kind of awkward superhero type of thing. But they had the Wonder Twins had this mascot called Gleek, which was a kind of a superhero monkey. Stand corrected, purple monkey or blue monkey, and it was like, wow, they introduced Gleek. Why would they introduce Gleek? And they kind of transition out of the kind of the abandoned building. Yes, I'm using air quotes on an audio podcast again. That they've been using for the past couple of crossovers. And it turns out this abandoned building is the same building that we see in the Super Friends cartoon. And we kind of see in, I think, one of the modern day Justice League movies, or I think it was like Justice League Warzone or something like that. I have to go back and watch it, but still, it was a wonderful Easter egg for those old timers like myself that remember the Super Friends cartoon. Yes, they brought in Black. I have in my notes that they brought in Black Lightning. Yes, it was wonderful to have him part of this, and yes, they incorporated Black Lightning into this universe. And now with this ultimate crossover, the Crisis of Infinite Earths, everything that's on the CW, all the superhero movies, Supergirl, I should say the superhero movies now, because I think, yes, Arrowverse, the show Arrow, starring Green Arrow, is now canceled. It's off the air. It had its run. So the superhero movies, I should say shows on CW now, containing are Batwoman, The Flash, Supergirl, Black Lightning, and I think coming in the fall, it's also Superman and Lois Lane. So those shows right now consist of the Prime universe. They're using that as the Prime. And which is okay, which is good. They don't have to really do... also, I forgot about Legends of Tomorrow is part of this as well. So all this is the Prime universe, which is not a bad thing. Helps condense things and probably make it even easier to do crossovers if need be throughout the shows. And bring in probably cameos from the Arrow. But there is still a multiverse out there. Their aspect in this, there is a multiverse. It's kind of hold nod to all the DC universe shows, like Swamp Thing, Titans, Doom Patrol, all these shows that are on, either coming on to Warner Brothers online or the DC online shows. All that is now other type of other universes that obviously they probably won't go to, but still it's there for they're kind of saying, yeah, these are part of the multiverse, they're part of this. And they kind of gave a lot of folks, I got to look into the article in reference to why it is a quote-unquote apology to Superman Returns, but they kind of gave a kind of a nod again to Brandon Routh's Superman Returns movie by having him dressed as Superman again, kind of doing the orbit of Earth with the Superman dun, 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 type of music in the background, and him kind of waving to the audience. So that is a in essence, part of the multiverse now, which is wonderful. It's great. And that's pretty much what I wanted to go over, or some of the things I wanted to go over in this week's hostful. But hopefully we will get Big Candy on the air again. If you want to wish him some well wishes, give him some well wishes, or give him some positive prayers, positive thoughts, or anything like that, leave a comment down below on our Facebook page, because we got to figure out why YouTube is not, our episodes are not posting up to YouTube like usual. I got to look at our Podbean admin page to see how we can start posting up to YouTube again and sharing our episodes that way, just in case some of you might be wondering. But that being said, we're going to do this in kind of reverse. If you're wondering where our episodes are on YouTube, and you went to one of the many other locations to get our episodes, and in regards to wondering where they are, it's YouTube's new policy now. I guess it's because even though we marked our YouTube channel not fit for kids, we are in essence a adult themed or adult oriented type of channel. We're geared towards more adults than children. YouTube also probably wants each video now to be marked that. So that's probably the reason why our latest episodes are not being posted up on YouTube. So also as well, because of this, please stick to where you've been getting our podcasts. So that being said, if you don't know where to get our podcasts, you can get them either, if you're on a desktop or laptop computer, you can get our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, or our website, which is thelongcoatmafia.podbean.com. And I do recommend you bookmarking that website just in case Spotify or iTunes decides to be finicky and you still want to get our podcasts. We don't require any sign-ups or anything like that to get our episodes, or see our page. So please, you're more than welcome to go to our page, bookmark it, get all our episodes going back to the very start, 4.5 years ago, and you could download them and listen to them at your leisure. Or if you're someplace else, like a local library, getting them there, you could get them there, download them to a jump drive and bring them home and listen to them on your player of choice, whatever that might be. Or you could stream them on the website too. If you're on the go, you can get them, if you're kind of listening to us on the go, you can get us through either Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Yes, you could probably do a workaround through Google Music, Stitcher app, the Spotify app, plus the Podbean app, which I recommend you guys and gals using. It's free to use. And what else? Again, I think you're able to go back to all the way to the beginning. And if you visit our website through your cell phone's app, in that regards, the cell phone's browser, you're going to need the Podbean app to download the episodes or stream them. I'll let you all know that. What else? Our social media. You can, as stated, you can leave a comment on the pin post on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Long Coat Mafia Podcast. We do have a Facebook group. We're working on that. I'll start sharing that in regards to getting more people there too. But you're always welcome to post stuff up on our Facebook page for others to see. If there's an approval, a good chance we'll approve it. What else? We do have, you can also message us on Facebook, or you can leave us an email at thelongcoatmafia@gmail.com. Wait a minute. Did I say the long? Our Gmail account is longcoatmafia@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is longcoatmafia, and our Instagram is also longcoatmafia. I do recommend, if you want to, please hit the like button on our Facebook page, because it'll let you know a lot of the additional content we tend to post up on Facebook, which I'm trying to get to do more and more often now, since my 9 to 5 hours have changed. So please like that, and we'll have announcements to where we'll try to put up announcements to where we're going, what we're doing, so forth and so on. That being said, give us a follow on our Instagram. Again, our handle is Longcoat Mafia, and by doing so, you get to see photos that we post up from events that we go to, plus a few memes that we tend to post up, and promo stuff that we post up as well. Twitter, we tend to be active on that, or I should say, I should start to be getting active on Twitter as well. I know I've been slacking on that. We do have a YouTube channel. Just if you haven't subscribed to us, and first off, before I get into it, thank you to all 26 people who subscribe to our channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Not only are we trying to post up our episodes to our YouTube channel as well, we got to start posting up videos again to our YouTube channel. And when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll get to see where we've been, video walking tours, some previews of video previews of the interviews that we will have on our channel, that we do others, and plus vlogs and other stuff and rants that we'll have on our YouTube, plus a lot of long form stuff that we put up on YouTube. And sometimes we'll put, speaking of long form, that's why we also urged you to click that like button on our Facebook page, because we tend to put exclusives on both our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. And the doing so is because sometimes Facebook Facebook hates long form but loves short form, and YouTube is the opposite. And sometimes both tend to be finicky as well, and because of that finickiness of both, I tend to put some videos up on YouTube and some videos up on Facebook. So please find both, and like and subscribe to both. That way you could always keep up with things that we are doing. What else? We do have a TikTok. I think it's LCM Pod. We do have some streaming stuff. Our Mixer account is mixer.com/LCMP. All those letters are capitalized. We do have a Twitch account. Our Twitch page is twitch.tv/Longcoat Mafia Pod. If I do any streaming over the next couple of days or weeks, please, I'll try to let you guys and gals know in regards to which streaming service that we are doing. I did try to do streaming on our YouTube channel, and it doesn't really... OBS kind of broke everything up after about a half an hour, so that's why we should be going strictly towards either Twitch, Mixer, or even Facebook. So, on that note, I'm going to go and get things going for next week. Stay tuned. We have a lot of other guests, and I'll try to get Big Candy back on, but please do not hold me to that. Again, please leave a lot of give Big Candy a lot of well wishes, good energy, good prayers, and everything else, because I think he's going to be needing it over the next couple of days. I'm not sure if he needs it, but if it wouldn't hurt, folks. Please do so if you so inclined. He is a friend. He is part of the show. I'm sure all of you enjoy his thoughts and views on things, so please do that. And I'll see all of you out there next week. Toodles.
See you next time on the Longcoat Mafia.